Little by little, the FlowerHorn is making its way to the top of the aquarium display list of fish. It's only been commonly available for a few years, and even average-looking juveniles fetch a pretty penny. Some of the higher-end FlowerHorns easily sell for hundreds of dollars, but you might be able to pick one up at a reasonable price. I lucked out and picked this one up from a buddy for just $10, and just in case you're considering getting one, or better yet, if you already have one, let's go over some of the basics for keeping FlowerHorn. The first thing you need to know about keeping FlowerHorn fish is that they need an entire tank by themselves. This means little to no decorations, little to no substrate, and absolutely no other fish. The FlowerHorn is an incredibly aggressive, impatient, and an adjective you'll hear a lot about the FlowerHorn is mental or crazy. If they get stressed or irritated for whatever reason, maybe it's your light or someone walking by, they can flip out and use anything you put in there with it to hurt itself. If you use sharp substrates like gravel or sharp sand, maybe even pebbles, they can dig at it and mess up their jaws. If you have sharp decorations, they can accidentally injure their cocks with them. Not only will this stress your fish out, but it might not show its true colors. And when it's stressed, its cock can actually deflate because of that. And I know there's a lot of blogs out there, there's a lot of videos where people don't really take into consideration these hazards and do these things anyways. Some try to validate themselves, but please take it seriously. And if you can't keep it by itself, or if you don't like the way it looks with a minimal sort of basic tank, this might not be the fish for you. If you really have to have fish with your FlowerHorn, I recommend picking up a FlowerHorn that's already been housed with other fish. Their diet should consist of 3 types of foods. Dry foods, you can use cichlid pellets, any kind work. I prefer slow sinking granules for my FlowerHorn as I like to keep it feeding inside the tank. You'll also need live foods. FlowerHorns absolutely need live foods. That's what their digestive systems are built to process. It also keeps their colors vibrant and cock in great shape. Any of the common feeders will do. I personally use insects, worms, feeder fish, and shrimp. But one thing that I recommend is to keep feeder animals for at least 1 month before feeding them to your FlowerHorn. This will ensure that they are healthy enough to feed, and it'll give you time to fatten them up so that they're as nutritious as possible. And the last type of food is frozen foods. Take your pick. Any will do. Although I recommend changing it up. Maybe 1 week try mysis shrimp, the next frozen bloodworms, after that some brine shrimp. You get the point. This will keep your FlowerHorn curious and happy. I recommend feeding your fish 1 of each type of food if it's a juvenile like mine, 3 meals a day, and once it reaches about 8 inches in length, you can bring it down to just 2 feedings a day, but increase the sizes of the feedings. Keep an eye on your water parameters. You want a neutral pH and a temperature in between 78 and 86 degrees. I personally keep mine at 84. Be sure to keep an eye out on your nitrates. You're going to be doing quite a lot of feeding. All that affects the water. I try to keep a moss ball in with my FlowerHorn, along with some plants like Elodia, and he does nip at them, but he's too small to do any real damage. You can try out aquatic plants to help with the nitrates, but I'll leave that at your own discretion. Some FlowerHorns are a little bit more plant friendly and won't destroy them, others will shred them up. The FlowerHorn has a lot of personality. As it grows, it'll begin to recognize you and give you attention, but above all, the FlowerHorn is widely popular for its presentation. That's why it's becoming popular as a display fish, and here are 2 things that make a FlowerHorn look nice. Its color pattern, or pattern display, and its cock. The cool thing about the FlowerHorn is that no 2 FlowerHorns are exactly identical. So look around, get an eye for what you like, but remember that their hump is even more important. I recommend only buying if you are satisfied with both. And when you finally do set up your FlowerHorn tank, you can raise them in a smaller tank while they're juveniles. However, once they mature, FlowerHorns will need at least a 75-gallon aquarium. If you found any of this info useful, please leave a like on the video, it really helps. And if you have any questions or advice you'd like to share, you know what to do. My name is Gus, this is Myaquariuminfo, and thanks for watching.